everybody, and welcome to today's vlog. Now, anybody that's watched our channel for any amount of time knows that we are absolutely crazy about fish, and recently we have got ourselves a tropical setup. It's just a bog standard fish tank with a heater and all of the tropical elements. In there we got a male betta fish, or a fighting fish as a lot of people know them as, and a few catfish and some neon tetras. Now, when we got him yesterday, we put a call out to see if there was a similar female, because we don't just have fish, we like to breed them as well. We got a call from a chap in Scarborough who told us about this amazing female that he'd seen in a shop about an hour and a half away from where we live. That is the matching pair, but she's ever so young. She's only 3 months old, and still it's far too soon to be able to breed them. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend a bit of time relearning how to breed. We haven't done it for a year. So last year we bred our fantails, which is really easy. They pretty much do everything themselves, whereas I think bettas are a little bit more difficult. But now we've had the fantail fries for a whole year, what we're going to do is we're going to sell them, release the large tank that we've got, and then be able to refill it again. So we're going to start by breeding the fantails first, and I'll show you which ones we're going to use, as well as show you the offspring that we had last year. So come with me, let's have a look. These are our fantail fries. Now they do need a good clean out, which is what we're going to be doing this afternoon. We don't have them in a filter setup just yet, purely because they've been a little bit small, and some of them are still more eyeballs than they are actually fish, as you can see there. But we are going to get a nice water change today with the air stones as well. And we're going to set up on the shelves over there that have always been just kind of junk holders. We're going to set up some small tanks because we need to move the beta male as well. And then we're also going to get these in a nice clean habitat and then put them up for sale. So the ones that we're going to breed, which are the parents to these ones, I'll show you now. And here she is. She's an absolute monster of a fantail. She's gorgeous, and she's always hungry. You put food in and she will gobble, 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 gobble. She absolutely, like, eating is her most favourite thing. And I know that it's a bit weird to say because she's a fish, but she's so friendly. She's literally the friendliest fish. As soon as you walk into the room, she comes up to the side of the tank and she really wants attention. So what we're going to be doing with her for the next 2 days is popping her outside in the colder temperatures. And then when she comes in, she'll be lovely and warm and hopefully ready to have the babies. Hopefully. The male fish that we are going to use is that one there. So he's basically a comet. He came from a fair years and years ago. But he's got beautiful butterfly fins and he's absolutely stunning. And he just makes incredibly pretty babies. So yes, that's going to be our breeding pair. So with that in mind, I've got an awful lot of work to do, as well as mend the pond pump, because that unfortunately broke as well, so I better crack on. The quickest way we've found to stimulate breeding in these fish, in the fantail fish, is to take water out of what is their habitat here and put into a bucket. Then to be able to get the fish, like so. Oh, come on little girl. Beautiful girl. Pop her in the bucket, which is exactly the same temperature and exactly the same water that she's just come out of. And because the water temperature has got to drop, the easiest way to do that in England is to take the bucket outside for 48 hours and then bring her back in, so that the water that she comes back into is then lovely and warm, and that should stimulate the egg growth. There she is, and I've got some high protein feed to put in, just so that she's got a little bit. That was probably far too much, but at least she's got something to nibble on while she is in there. And then as soon as we take her out after 48 hours, we will then separate the male that we're going to use, the male from over here, and then he can go into the bucket. They can have the rest of the feed. So yeah, fingers crossed, let's see how it goes. So we really did this the wrong way round, getting the female betta fish before we had the right place to put the male one. But she's doing really well in there in that bag. And they do seem to be paying each other quite a bit of attention now, which is absolutely lovely. The catfish are there on the bottom as well as the tetras. And over here, we've moved everything around. So this tank up here is going to be the male betta fish tank, which is why it's got the heat pump in there. Down there, that's where we're going to breed the fantails again. And in here, we've just moved these over, just giving them a nice clean, a nice fresh bit of water, and we'll get these up for sale now that they are a year old. Due to circumstances with the weather, we are having to speed up the process, unfortunately, with our fantail and our fancy comet. Oh, hello, Wilhelmina. Hello, beautiful girl. We also, up here as well, which I'll do in another vlog, we also have some betta fish, some fighting fish. We've got a male over there who's really showing off to the female over here. And we're going to be introducing those tomorrow, which we will do in another vlog, but they seem to be getting on really well. But now I'm going to introduce the Comet Boy, and the reason that we're having to introduce the Comet Boy early is because we've got him in a bucket in the garden. And unfortunately there's going to be thunderstorms tonight, so I don't really want him in a bucket on his own. So we're introducing them about 2 days early, but I'm doing it for their safety. I'm getting him inside, out of the bucket, to make sure that nothing happens to him during the storm. Always a joy when you have to get the cockerel off the step to be able to get outside. Hello, Derek. Right, so here he is. Here is the male. So if we can just gently get him. He's very lively and he's in excellent shape, which is why we picked him. Ooh, back in the house quickly. If you look at him there, he's got the most gorgeous of colourings. There we go. And he goes in there like that. And let's see how those two get on. Obviously the water will be a lot warmer in there than the bucket outside. I do believe she should be ready to mate, so once they've got used to each other, it should be a nice game of chase me. And if it's not, we'll separate them off again, give them a little bit longer, and then try again. Been in together a little while now, about 10 minutes, and they're just starting to nudge each other, which is really promising. Really promising. So let's see how they get on. We now have some absolute displays of following and nudging and interest. This seems to be going really well. The boy, the dark red, is really chasing the girl, the goldfish. That is so sweet to see. They're going to make beautiful babies together. Well, there you go. We have just separated the male and the female out. Now, there are some white spots on the floor, but I'm not sure if there are eggs. If you see over here, there are some really tiny ones. They might be eggs, they might not be, and if they are, I'm not sure whether or not they'll be fertilised. But obviously we can keep you posted and let you know whether or not we get any fry out of here. It'd be absolutely lovely if we did. But I think the rest of the things, the debris that's been left down here is purely fish poop. But in other news, we have very exciting news. The weather has warmed up considerably, which means we're also breeding fish out here in the pond. So the pond fish are spawning. We're going to give them all day chasing and spawning, and we're going to get another tank set up, and then we're going to put the adults in the pond, in the new pond, so that we can get some baby goldfish. Now there will be a mixture because we've got koi carp, comets, I think we've even got a shabunkin in there, so they will be mixed breeds, but I'm sure that they'll be very pretty. And yeah, let's see what we actually get. I'm very excited about this one. This is going to be great. It's now tea time and the day is the 17th of July, and the fish have been chasing around and mating all day. So what we've had to do is set up a tank. Here we go, this is the outdoor tank. We've put some tap safe in it and we're putting in some water now, and we're just letting it acclimatise. This is a 500 litre tank, and that is going to be the temporary base for the fish. So the problem is, now they've mated, if we left them in there with the eggs and with the fry, they would eat them. So we have to, if we want eggs, which is what we do want, we have to actually remove the fish from there, otherwise they'll eat their own babies, which is something that we're going to try and avoid at all cost. So it looks like the big one over there that we've lovingly called Big Bertha, she was from a repossessed house. It looks like everyone's chasing her. So hopefully she's the one that's going to be the mummy, which would be lovely because she is a great big fish. She's absolutely massive. So yeah, we'll start taking them out later. These are our last year's fry, and they came from the fantails last year. They are now currently up for sale. Beautiful, beautiful fish. And of course we've got the betas that have just been introduced today. So that's the female beta, and then the male beta is under his nest over there. He's taking good care of his bubble nest. It's been several hours now, and with the help of the sun and tap safe, I've managed to get this water where it needs to be. The evening's coming down quite quickly. Unfortunately, by scooping them out of the pond, I've now completely lost visibility, so I've got to let it settle a little bit. But I've counted that we've got 14 in here, 14 fish. So hopefully just a couple more to go. I know I'm missing Big Bertha, she's still out there somewhere. So yeah, I'll just keep looking, unless that's her there, but I thought she was bigger than that one, so I don't think it is, but hey ho, we'll keep searching and see what we find. Oh, the pond water's looking a bit yucky now, but we have managed to get all but 2 fish out of there. So all of the fish are in their holiday home, which is in here. Now, look at that, isn't that really pretty, seeing them like that? Really, really pretty. So the big red one over there, Big Bertha, is full of eggs, and the comet male over there, which is the one that we had in the tank, he is sexually mature and sexually active. So what we've also done for an experiment is this: we've taken Bertha and the comet and we have milked them like fish husbandry into a bowl. Let me show you in the house. So we now have a bowl sat here with air bubbles in. I don't know if you can see all around the sides and at the bottom there are loads and loads, probably about 40 or 50 fish eggs in there. Now we put the sperm in first, we milked the male into there first, then we put the eggs in, and then we put some more sperm in and gave everything a good waft around, and then left it 15 minutes before we changed the water. We'll keep changing the water throughout the process until the fry are born, and obviously give them lots of air as well, and we'll keep you updated on how it goes. So just some updates for you really. These are the eggs that we got yesterday. Yesterday was the 17th of July. Today is the 18th of July, and look how many eggs we've got today. This is from the same fish. I don't think she was quite ready yesterday. We've used the same 2, so he has provided the sperm and she has provided the eggs. I'll just take the bubble out so you can see just how many there are. There are thousands in there, thousands and thousands. For those people that say that I need a new air stone, I'm going out later today to get one. Unfortunately, as I popped that one in, it disintegrated, and I didn't want a bad one or an old one in with new eggs. So wow, we are in for potentially an awful lot of fry. All of our fish are back in the pond because I can't see us ever needing any more eggs this season, the amount that we've got this time round. So we're just going to leave them to their own devices in there. But there's another reason as well. If you are a bit squeamish, do look away. We had them in this tank overnight and it clearly hasn't suited our old koi. Look, bless him. He was about 9 years old and we did have him from a very small fry. He was only about an inch long when we first got him, and he's been a wonderful fish to own. He's been absolutely magnificent. But unfortunately, that is the nature of owning animals. As my dad says, who's a farmer, stock lives to die on you, and that is definitely the case here. But we still have these wonderful, wonderful pond fish, and then hopefully in about 3 to 4 days time we should have some fry. Talking about fry, here is our last batch. So this is last year's fry. They're all looking really good. I've got one down there that we've had in the methylene blue overnight. It's still going. I've just taken it out of the methylene blue. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with it. But it is still alive. I'll put it in for another 24 hours in 24 hours time, but I don't like giving it permanently. But these are absolutely beautiful and looking for their new home. So if you are interested in any fish, do comment below. And a lovely update on the beta as well. He is hugging that bubble nest. He absolutely loves it. She has been in the bubble nest several times today as well, inspecting it. She has got, if I can find her in the tank, she has got a lovely spot underneath her abdomen. I'm not sure if you can see it over there, but she's hiding from him at the moment. But she has got an egg spot underneath her abdomen, which is absolutely glorious. So I can anticipate mating happening for these two in the next couple of days. Day 3 for this bowl. Now, as you can see, if you look in there, the eggs, the majority of them have turned a milky white, which means that they are no good at all, unfortunately. However, there are about 10, maybe 11 I've counted, that look like they could be fertile. So we'll just keep the air stone in there and see. However, over in this bowl, and I cannot believe how many eggs there are, none of them have gone milky white. They've all stayed a lovely yellow, a pale yellow colour, which is absolutely phenomenal. So this is day 2, so they should be hatching in the next 2 or 3 days, hopefully. I don't like the way that they're all clumped in the bottom now. I will admit this. It is the first time that we've had a proper spawn like that, and I didn't think that with the age of our fish, because all of our fish are over 5 years old, I didn't think that they would spawn anywhere near that amount of eggs. So that is my error, not getting a bigger bowl. So there is a chance that some of the eggs in the middle where they're all clumped up will get the fungus or fungi, and unfortunately not come out. Now, one of the things I've been doing to prevent this is really regular water changes. I'm changing the water in both bowls twice a day. I'm doing it at about between 8 o'clock and 8:30 every morning and every night. And I am using fresh water from outside in the pond, which I'm then bringing into the house to get it to the right temperature before doing the changes. Right, let's go and have a look at the betas. Now, he is an absolute beauty. He's literally the most gorgeous fish I've ever seen. I absolutely love him to pieces. And if I haven't mentioned before, we have called him Boris. Over there is his wife for now, hiding behind the heater. We do have a bubble nest, but they haven't spawned yet. She is hiding from him. He isn't showing too much aggression, but he has chased her. And I do see some splits on the fins there. But normally, she stays to her side of the tank, he stays to his. We only mix them for a couple of hours a day, and then we pop her back in the plastic container just to see when she's ready. Now, this process can take several days, and nobody's in any hurry. Oh, she's come over to him now to have a little peck. But yeah, you can tell that they're both a little bit wary of each other still, and he does love his bubble nest. So we'll just keep at it for the next few days and see what happens. Now, while she's so close, I'm going to see whether or not I can get a lovely update of her egg there. Look, can you see the egg on the bottom? So she has got a beautiful egg there, so it shouldn't be too long, should not be too long, and they will take to each other. Fingers crossed. It's now day 4 and we've had some incredible news. If you can see the little tiny movement in the water there that just look like tiny little eyelashes, that is our baby fry. They've hatched. So this is the first bowl that we didn't think had many eggs in it. We thought there was only about 20 eggs in it. And it looks like all of them might have hatched. There appear to be about 20 fry in there in total, which is absolutely brilliant news. In the tank where we got all the rest of the eggs, I'm afraid it's not good news at all. They were too close together. They have got a fungus, and only one egg so far has actually hatched. And because of the fungus, I put the fry in there just to give it the best possible chance. So yeah, unfortunately this bowl does look to have died. So I've got a little nursery hatchery just set up here. This has got water in that's 2 days old now. I'm probably going to leave it just another few days until I put the little baby fry in. And at the moment what we're feeding them is this gorgeous stuff, which is egg yolk. So it's just egg yolk, mushy it up with a little bit of the tank water so that it's not, and then just a tiny little drop in the water like that. And I do that all around the side of the bowl. That's why I have a bowl on a slant so it sticks to the side. And so when the fry there, look, can come close to it, they manage to get enough to eat, which is brilliant. We'll catch up with them in a few days' time. In total, we ended up with 11 fry. You can just see one there, and then there's one there just in the corner as well. So we've had them now, and there's one on the bottom. We've had them now for 2 weeks, and they're doing really, really well. And they're no longer the size of an eyelash. They're probably 3 times the size of what they were. If you see the debris on the bottom there, that is because we've been feeding them a mixture of live food, which is a baby brine shrimp, and also putting in there as well some egg yolk. Now we're only doing that because we've got eggs, because we've got chicken, so it's a nice cheap food for us to be able to do, and they seem to absolutely love it. But unfortunately that does leave a scum on the bottom, so we have to do really, really, really regular water changes to get rid of that, because that in this heat of the summer can come up like that within an hour. It is really quite gross. So that is the little fishies and how they're getting